Hello there people on the internet, my name is Owen and welcome to a brand new video here on Blurb Osh. And as you can see, I've got the Grandland back. And it starts as it should. So I'm currently getting myself underway for work. Turn the aircon off, turn the fans down, windscreen's covered in dust from Corona spam. Right, let's go. Yeah, so I'm on the way to work this morning and I want to just tell you where I'm at with the Grandland at the minute. And it's not that impressive, to be honest, but there is a plan in place. So I left the Grandland with the car dealer for about a week, and in the meantime I did have a courtesy car, which was a lipstick red Corsa F 1.2 turbo, which I must admit was like a little shopping cart. It was very chuckable, it had plenty of poke for what it was, but it just wasn't comfortable for me. I noticed some twinging coming back into my back having that car because it was so unsupportive. It was quite a basic entry-level model that they gave me, but I say entry-level, to a lot of people out there it should be a executive model, because cars back in the day never came with screens and never came with half the features that car has. But anyways, in today's standard it was an entry-level model. Now there's nothing wrong with it, it was a pleasant car for the most part. It never had any starting issues, it never had any faults, and it drove perfectly fine. Now I had the car, well I was supposed to have it for 3 days, that quickly changed into a week, and can you guess what they found with the car, considering all the evidence that I've provided? No issues found. That was the result of that. No issues found. Because I understand why there's no issues found. They've got to plug the car in to grab data when the issue is emitting. And the best way to describe it is like one of the viewers pointed out, is it's like the car needs to have a choke to start it, as if it's fuel starvation, and nothing could be found. Everything seemed to be reading normal. I was even told, and whether it's true, but I tend to just believe people because I try and keep my hopes up for some. But another Grandland 1.2 was tested to see if there is any differences in figures that come out of the test, and it reads the same as any other Grandland. So the situation report is now is I've took the car for the second time from the dealer, and it has done it again. But I've had the car for over a week and a half now, back from the dealer, and it's only done it once. And this car's been daily driving every day since I've had it back, and it's only done it once. That's how intermittent it is. You know, you can never catch the bloody thing. Please.
Most homes would save with Octopus Energy. Outstanding.
They claimed they drove it and started it, which is fine because they also noticed the ticking noise I have, which again they couldn't find out what that was coming from either, which was quite bizarre. So adding two and two together, one of my close friends, I would say, who works in the car industry, said it sounds like it's some sort of pulley ticking. And adding one and two together, I would assume that phaser pulley is what's making this noise, yet the fault couldn't be found. Now, what I've done rather cleverly is sent a list of dates, times and events since I've took this car to someone higher in their division, because at the end of the day I like the car. I do like the car. It's a nice smart looking car. I love the sunroof. I love the way it drives. I also love the stereo. I don't love how the aircon can sometimes drag the engine down a lot, or the fact that it constantly, for whatever reason, beeps at me and doesn't tell me why it's beeping at me. But I don't love it. I loved the Insignia. There's a difference. The Insignia, yes, gave me some teething issues, but when it went in, they diagnosed it as being the chain and got it done. And yes, I had to battle through COVID and waiting 8 weeks without the car, and that was a pretty crappy time. But valid reasons then was lack of parts availability, lack of engineers and COVID and so on and so forth, and a lot of worldwide issues. And that's why I was patient with that. But we're now 4 years apart from that. We're 4 years better now. Parts availability is still a problem. It's not great. Anyways, in relation to what I'm trying to get to, I loved the Insignia. To the extent now I've driven this car, I would happily go back to another one. And the reasoning for that is because I think I underestimated that car a lot. Yes, I used to feel like I couldn't really get my back supported, but it wasn't an expensive SRI model, because it was a company car before I got it. And I didn't give, I think I made sure that I gave that car's credit for what it was due, but a lot of things with that car, even though there's 2 years difference between them, is much more superior than this car. For example, the steering. This car's steering is so light on the bypass, it's sometimes weaving in and out places. That's how I feel like when I'm driving. The sun visor doesn't know where it wants to be when I try and move it. Whether it's insignias, I don't know what it is, but it felt a lot smoother. The infotainment screen, a lot more advanced in the Insignia. There's a lot more options and things that you can check, such as tyre pressures, whether you can't check the tyre pressures on this. It comes up with a warning light for it, but it doesn't it doesn't say anything about it. If it's got what, it doesn't tell me what PSI is in either tyre, whether the Insignia did. Another thing would be the battery terminals. I could jump start the Vectra, no problem with the Insignia. Not a sweat, not an issue. Perfect. Now, the Grandland has an emergency disconnect on its battery, and according to the user manual, it claims it can jump a car. I find that hard to believe because of how big the switch is on top of the terminal to take the battery off. You wouldn't be able to fit any jump cables on the cable or the actual point. And when asking my dealer about it, they said never jump start a car with a newer car. They're not designed for it. And I thought, wow, new cars. I mean, I knew this anyways, I don't know why I'm complaining about it, but new cars devolving, not evolving. It's ridiculous. It's situations like this that remind me that newer cars are nice, yes, but they're not worth it. You know, they're nice, they're practical, and yeah, sure, you'll get a warranty with it, but older cars, parts availability is going to be there pretty much. You'll have other manufacturers making the blueprints for parts. You'll be able to go to your local scrapyard and get the parts. I have yet to see an Insignia Grand Sport or a Grandland. I've seen a few Corsa Fs in there. In a scrapyard. I mean, sure, it depends on the scrapyard you're looking at, right? I understand that, but being to 3 local scrapyards, and let's be honest, they're far and few between these days, scrapyards, because of the environmental health, which is another con. I still do not see an Insignia Grand Sport. I see the other shape Insignias, the original Insignia. I see the Corsa Fs in there, but I don't even see a Grandland in there. I see a few Saphiras, I'll give it that, but none of the newer, more expensive stuff. So that's my findings with that. So the plan is with the Grandland then is it will eventually be going back to the garage and we'll get assessed deeper with Vauxhall. That was the original plan until I sent the email. Now I've had email confirmation back to say that I will be notified on what's going to happen, but it's more than likely going to be the car's got to go back in, it's got to get checked, it's going to have an engineer drive it, but I don't see what the difference is going to be even if they plug it in. All it's going to do is confirm that yeah, it doesn't start. But why it doesn't start, we don't know. So it's one of those stay tuned moments, you know. I said to the guy as well, I said, look, the car runs, the car drives, you know, and I don't want to sound like I'm complaining complaining too much, except I am complaining. You know, the car runs, the car drives. You know, I consider myself a patient person. If a courtesy car is not available, I will wait for it. You know, I want. You know, nothing was ever fixed by being pissed towards members of staff. You know, I work in retail. I know how it sort of works, and how if you treat the other person with respect and you try and work with them, things will often follow a procedure and get sorted. Whereas if you go in all guns blazing, pissed off, blah blah blah, they're less courteous towards you and getting things done. So it is one of those where, yes, the car's driving and what have you, and I do like the car, you know. So I'm not totally and utterly done with it, you know. If they fix it, great. If they don't, well, yes, that's when it needs to be altered. But it is a wait and see moment. The car runs and drives, it drives perfectly fine, it's good in fuel, still. I can't grovel too much, if that makes sense. So anyways guys, this is a mini update for you guys. Stay tuned, and I'll be back with an update at some point. Not sure when, as explained in a previous video, but it will come. Anyways guys, thank you very much for watching this video. If you leave a like and subscribe, I will sorely appreciate it. And if you like the video, also leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care and stay safe.